Hello, hello, hello. I'm Toy Johnson-Vincent, your no sugarcoating coach. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful week. And I wish that for everyone, it's really important to understand how your week starts, right? Because typically how it starts is almost how it ends. And if you're really, really lucky and you're really in tune to everything that you want to accomplish, you're not really worried about how the week ends because you started off in a good way. Well, let me just tell you, that was somewhat of a sugarcoating message. And you know me, I'm Toye Johnson-Vincent, your no sugarcoating coach, speaker, trainer, event speaker, conference speaker, keynote speaker. You can keep adding on the accolades. Either way, I just enjoy speaking on topics, particularly in the career development, professional development, leadership and development, resilience development. That's a new one for me. And, as the clock keeps ticking, then I will always continue to redevelop, redesign my presentations to audiences globally. And yes, for those of you who are unfamiliar with me and what I do in my background, I'm also a podcast host for Speak to Me First podcast show. Again, Speak to Me First podcast show. And I'm coming to you live right now from YouTube. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, share, like, all of the above to your network or your contacts or your tribe, if you will. I appreciate all of the above. Now, what's happening? I want to say, first of all, I hope you understand that we're just beginning the summer, right? We're right there, just beginning. You notice the weather, depending on where you are, may be a little bit warmer. For some, if you're in the Southeast, you may have a lot of rain in the Atlanta area and beyond. Okay. But that never stops you, right? You probably have a plan in place for the 4th of July. You probably have your barbecues scheduled and meeting family and friends or reconnecting with all of the above, right? You are planning to really do it upright for the upcoming holiday. Well, what I want to extend to you is how about, I know you're going to keep that on your calendar because that's personal and everything. But on your professional side, your career side, and you may have already embarked on your entrepreneurship journey, you are certainly welcome to check me out. And I'm probably going to be doing some lives via YouTube, lives via Facebook, lives being or restreaming to LinkedIn. And if you want to learn more about when I'm doing things, that would be a good place to make sure that you inbox me via LinkedIn so that you can get all the details. And when I post an event, I always put it on that particular platform. So I heard someone else say that, and they use the terminology as it is their playground, and so it is mine as well. Let me just say that I thank you so much for tuning in today. And make sure you're tell everybody you know, all of my subscribers or current subscribers. I thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, which has just been a little bit over a year. I hadn't been doing many lives on this platform, but I certainly plan on it. So I want you to be ready because I want to do something that I haven't done it in this way. But last year, I had the Zoom in July and Zoom in August events. And I also invited people via Zoom. And I also did a boot camp with just a couple of executives. I didn't go completely all out. I didn't have, tens and 20s and 30s of people in an audience. I was trying to do that as a one-on-one, just as a launch. So what I'm doing now this summer, for July and possibly August, I like to tap into your resources, or I want you to tap into your resources, because oftentimes we let the summers go by and we're unhappy in those jobs. If you're unhappy in your job, you need to check out my lives or even my videos that I already have out on YouTube. I have over 100 videos right now. Make sure again that you subscribe, tell your audience. But this summer, July and August, and definitely I can say for sure in July, I will be doing a live as well as pre-recorded videos of what's going on, how to stay on top of your goals, stay on top of your game, if you will. You got to be in the game to be on top of the game. If you're not even in the game, or you have no interest whatsoever, if you're just somebody who is planning to excuse me, if you're just planning to stay in your job, and you're not really looking to move forward in that job, meaning you're okay, you're fine, that's fine. It's whatever you want to do. But I want to extend it to all of those who may be just curious, or that you really are looking to have this plan, or get control, take back your control over your career future. And this would include some people who are on or just starting out on their entrepreneurship journey. And you may have heard me on other Zoom events speaking about that to entrepreneurs and people who are just starting out their entrepreneurship journey, and they just need a little bit of help. So they're coming to people like myself as a certified life coach. I'm not only a speaker, I'm a certified life coach. I have a huge background in HR for more than 20 years. I won't date myself, but you know what it is. If you work with me, then you know what the deal is. I was working in HR when you could walk into an organization with your resume in hand and walk right into HR. So I know from the old school way, and I also know the new school way is very different. And there's another thing I'll be talking about, is about age. And as you age into the workforce, are you trying to make the decision? Some of us may be trying to make the decision, are you going to stay in the workforce, or are you going to leave the workforce? And you have to decide, what exactly will you do? You have to do it. And essentially, you don't want to wait around until it's too late. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, I think I really just should retire. You need to talk with multiple people, whether it's your coaches or mentors. Obviously, if you're getting ready to, if you're approaching the 65 and above, and you're thinking about retiring through Social Security and all of that, and all of those things, that's a whole process in itself. You can see the commercials for that. You won't find that here, but you may be right around that age group and you're saying, I will be retiring, but I'm really interested in finally tapping into, your, what you really want to do, finally tapping into your own resources. And perhaps it may be profitable for you. So you have to work that out. Obviously, if you're going to be already on Social Security or something like that, or any other aid, then you would have to make sure that you are in compliant with being able to work and make a certain amount of money while you're also on any of those programs. So that's something that you need to look into. And that's for anyone, including myself. You just can't just go around and say, well, I can make all the money I want, and then you have you're gaining aid from somewhere else. So you have to stay in compliant. And one thing about HR that I learned, I was in HR for a very, very long time. It's all about compliant. It really is. From basically from the time you gain entry into that organization. For me, my background was recruiting and talent acquisition, if you will. It was a fancy schmancy word for recruiting, both contractually and full time. So that's really where my passion came for speaking to and about speaking to audiences about career development, professional development, how to develop your skills, how to move on in the workforce, how to know when you will never, ever, ever get promoted if you sit in that job for one more day. Is not going to happen. You think I'm kidding? Well, I'm sure you can probably talk about this, or you have had that conversation with someone that you knew, or you knew of someone it happened to, and you couldn't believe it. Someone was in their job for 20, 30 years, maybe just 10 years, or perhaps even 5. Right? Because on average, we have our first homes for about 5 years. For average, you maybe have your first car for about 5 years. So if you think about it, being on a job for multiple years, decades, if you will, 10, 20, 30, and you're not even ready to retire, but someone is trying to lay you off. Do you want to be that person? Probably not. So it's really, really important to make sure that you personally are getting it together now. So I want you to just make sure that you understand the difficulty and the challenges that you may face if you do not, I repeat, if you do not jump on your career journey now. And that may include people, again, who are just starting out their entrepreneurship, because many people that will start their entrepreneurship journey have to go back. Need I dare say it? They have had to go back into their prospective careers, and they thought they were done. So, what I'll be talking about, and I hope you'll join me in July and perhaps August, I'll be talking a lot about different things, especially as it relates to staying on top, staying on point with your current career. How about career transitioning? I'll be talking a lot about that because many of us are transitioning from one career or industry to another. How to do it? What are some of the ways that you could do it safely without jeopardizing? And I really mean that, without jeopardizing the company that you're currently in, especially if you don't have a good rapport with your current manager, supervisor, VP, even HR. You may have zero relationship. You're just sort of going along about your business, keeping your head down. Hopefully, somebody will see you in about another 10 years, and then they'll decide to promote you. And then you're so burnt out that you cannot and will not give it your all. Where does that lead you? So those are some of the things I'll be talking about. It's going to be raw and real, because you know why? I'm Toye Johnson-Vincent, your no sugarcoating coach, and I don't know any other way to get the message across that you cannot be your job. Your job cannot be you. That is just one portion in your life that you can manage, and you'll learn how to manage it better through coaching and mentoring if you decide to do that. And I just happen to be a certified life coach, but there are tons of life coaches out there. I'm also considered to be a career strategist because of my level of expertise working as a talent acquisition professional for many years. And again, that was before it was just my title was recruiter. All I knew was corporate recruiting and a little bit of staffing. But, we referred to respectfully as talent acquisition professionals. And they typically will match that wonderful talent to major corporations, as I've done in my past experiences within multiple markets. I'm talking Massachusetts, talking Florida, I'm talking New York, and I'm talking Atlanta. So now speaking about these things, my roles have changed, but my thought process has not changed much. I know that you need to understand this. If you don't hear anything I've said today, understand this, as I hope you will join me in July and perhaps in August which will narrow down those dates pretty soon. So look out for that. I'll be posting on my Facebook page, Toye Johnson Vincent. Also, with LinkedIn, Toye Johnson Vincent. You can hashtag no sugarcoating coach. You probably will see a lot of my posts there. I do a lot of lives on Instagram. Make sure you connect with me on all those platforms. But I will say this before closing. You need to remember that you're not your job, you're not your work. You have so many great things about you. You may be a family person, you have your own family, children, some do not. Whomever it is, significant others, you name it. You have so many things in your life that you want to accomplish in other areas. Why shouldn't this, if this is the one that's bringing in the bread and butter on a daily basis, including if you're just starting out in your entrepreneurship, so you're doing dual things. You have a career going here and you have your entrepreneurship going on the other side, which is fantastic. But either way, you have to manage it, because there's one thing I know for sure. If you're sitting in your job, and you have been for years and years and years, without any promotion, without any movement, without any regard from management, right? Corporate, saying, hey, I recognize this person as a valuable person to this organization. You become that person of value to them. But if you're not there yet, how long will you wait? Do you want to wait? Is it necessary for you to wait? Can't you move on to something else? These are questions I want you to ask yourself, and you'll be able to pose questions for me prior to the event. So again, I will post the event on LinkedIn under Toye Johnson Vincent, hashtag no sugarcoating coach, LinkedIn, that particular platform, and then I will fan it out to other platforms, the date of that event. Right now, I'm looking at mid-July, okay? Probably the second and no later than the third week of July 2023. So, where can you learn more about me? I can tell you. TJV empowers you. The letter U.com. Again, TJV empowers you. The letter U.com. That's my website. Learn about my multiple stories of resilience. And you'll learn a lot more about me and my career path and how did I get to where I am now, making all of the mistakes that many of us, including HR professionals, which I am, have made mistakes in our careers. A lot of us won't talk about it, but I'm hashtag the no sugarcoating coach, and I won't leave any stone unturned. So thank you so much for joining me today here on YouTube. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And by the way, if you haven't listened to my podcast show, Speak to Me First podcast show. Speak to Me First podcast show. So nice. I had to say it twice. All right, guys, you take care. And before I end all of my broadcasts, I always let you know this. Success is in your future. I'm Coach Toye, aka the No Sugarcoating Coach, Toye Johnson Vincent. Be well. Thank you. Bye now.